I'm Joe Quinn, and this is a SOT Report. Today I want to talk about health, specifically mental health. And to get us started, here's an example of some people exhibiting signs of severe mental health problems.
USA! 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 USA!
That was 2 nights ago, in front of the White House. Assuming that those individuals were not rent-a-crowd, which is possible, what can we say about their condition? As you may have noticed, the people were in a state of near patriotic ecstasy. The cause of their condition was the claim by the American President Obama that Osama Bin Laden had been killed May 1st in a raid by, and I quote, Americans. Apparently, after an alleged 10-year manhunt for Bin Laden, during which time the former President George W. Bush said this,
I repeat what I said, I truly am not that concerned about him. I know he is on the...
2 nights ago, some Americans are said to have attacked a large house in the city of Abbottabad, 50 miles north of Islamabad in Pakistan. Details on what exactly happened are sketchy, but apparently 2 helicopters appeared near the house and gunfire and a loud explosion were heard, and one of the helicopters crashed. Flames were seen from inside the walls surrounding the house, and, well, that's about it. The result, we are told, is that the fabled Osama Bin Laden was killed.
Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama Bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
The city of Abbottabad, where the incident took place, is home to several Pakistani military bases, where several thousand troops are stationed. In fact, one base, the Pakistan Military Academy, is an elite military training centre located just 200 yards from the house that was attacked. In addition, the US Marines and CIA have been operating out of another military base in Tarbela Ghazi, located just 30 miles away. Basically, for many years now, the CIA and US military have been all over this area of Pakistan, and the CIA is known to have long-standing and very close ties with the Pakistani intelligence service, the ISA, and the Pakistani military. Despite this, we're being asked to believe that Osama Bin Laden has been holed up for God knows how long in a house that is surrounded by Pakistani and US military and intelligence personnel. Sure. Not surprisingly, residents of Abbottabad were just a little skeptical.
I opened the news and this says about Osama Bin Laden. I was shocked. And to be honest, I'm living here all my life. And you know that if somebody new comes in your street, in your area, you always know. Like somebody is, you can feel them, you can see the movement. I haven't seen anything like that. I can't believe that.
The guy's got a point, but don't expect many people in the West to bother using their brains when they consider the situation. There are, after all, parties to be had and patriotic songs to be sung and beer to be drunk. What else matters, right? In the past I have published a lot of material that makes a very strong case for Osama Bin Laden being 2 things: a CIA asset and deceased many years ago. As regards the CIA asset status, beginning in the late 70s, the CIA funded and armed groups of mujahideen from different countries, with Bin Laden among them, to fight against the Soviets in Afghanistan, and many well-informed people have stated as such, like this BBC report. During the anti-Soviet jihad, Bin Laden and his fighters received American and Saudi funding. Some analysts believe Bin Laden himself had security training from the CIA. Or this from Germany's Der Spiegel magazine. The United States also supplied Afghan freedom fighters in the 1980s with money and arms for their struggle against occupying Soviet troops. One of the best customers for the CIA back then was Saudi millionaire Osama Bin Laden. Or as former UK Foreign Secretary and leader of the House of Commons Robin Cook said, throughout the 1980s, Bin Laden was armed by the CIA and funded by the Saudis to wage jihad against the Russian occupation of Afghanistan. Former FBI translator Sybil Edmonds stated that the US was on intimate terms with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and used them to further certain goals in Central Asia. In a November 2001 edition of the British Guardian newspaper, French intelligence agencies are quoted as confirming that CIA agents met with Bin Laden in a US hospital in Dubai just 2 months before the 9/11 attack. And as regards the time of his death, in 2001 the French newspaper Le Figaro, quoting intelligence agencies, stated that Bin Laden ordered a kidney dialysis machine in 2000. On December 26, 2001, in the Egyptian newspaper Al Wafd, a prominent official of the Afghan Taliban announced that Osama Bin Laden had been buried on or about December 13, 2001. According to the source, Bin Laden was suffering from a serious lung complication and succumbed to the disease in mid-December, in the vicinity of the Tora Bora Mountains. The source claimed that Bin Laden was laid to rest honourably in his last abode, and his grave was made as per his Wahhabi belief. In the December 28, 2001 edition of the British Telegraph newspaper, even the Bush administration is quoted as dismissing a recently released video of Bin Laden as propaganda designed to mask the fact that the Al-Qaeda leader was already dead. But what's the deal with those Bin Laden videotapes then? In the first audio and video statements allegedly released by Bin Laden in the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, he denied any involvement and appeared gaunt and ill, stating, "I stress that I have not carried out this act, which appears to have been carried out by individuals with their own motivation." This denial was broadcast on US news networks and worldwide. In an interview with Bin Laden, published in the Pakistani newspaper Ummat Karachi on September 28, 2001, he stated, "I have already said that I am not involved in the September 11th attacks in the United States. As a Muslim, I try my best to avoid telling a lie. I had no knowledge of these attacks, nor do I consider the killing of innocent women, children and other humans as an appreciable act." Then, on December 13, 2001, US military forces in Afghanistan claimed to have found a new videotape of the arch boogeyman. Apart from the fact that the man in that tape bears little resemblance to the real Bin Laden, as he appeared in previous tapes, the tape was aired with an accompanying English translation, courtesy of the CIA. The translation attributes the following apparently damning lines to Bin Laden. The problem, however, is that on December 20th, 2001, German TV channel Das Erste broadcast an analysis of this translation, where two independent translators and an expert on Oriental studies found it to be both inaccurate and manipulative, stating, "At the most important places where it is held to prove the guilt of Bin Laden, it is not identical with the Arabic, and that the words used that indicate foreknowledge cannot be heard at all in the original." Professor Gernot Rotter, Professor of Islamic and Arabic Studies at the Asia-Africa Institute at the University of Hamburg, said, "The American translators who listened to the tapes and transcribed them apparently wrote a lot of things in that they wanted to hear, but that cannot be heard on the tape, no matter how many times you listen to it." Several other tapes and audio recordings were released since then, but most of them are unverified, and a few are clearly faked. Here are two stills from the 2004 and 2007 tapes. The 2004 tape, showing someone not really resembling the real Bin Laden, was released just days before the 2004 US presidential elections, leading veteran broadcaster Walter Cronkite to say, "So now the question is basically, how will this affect the election? And I have a feeling that it could tilt the election a bit. In fact, I'm a little inclined to think that Karl Rove, the political manager at the White House, who is a very clever man, he probably set up Bin Laden to this thing." The 2007 tape is a real doozy. Not only does it look like Osama had a face job and a new beard, but at the points in the tape where this Osama claims responsibility for the 9/11 attacks, the video footage freezes while the audio continues. Very convenient. And just for those who think that videos of such evildoers can't be faked, check out this homemade version.
To any English-speaking infidels watching this, I just wanted to say that I'm still alive and it's very scary. I said I'd release a video for the 6th anniversary and I'm a man of my words. If you think this is a fake, you're completely crazy. Probably one of those crazy conspiracy theorists you're...
As concerns the audio messages from Bin Laden over the years, in 2007, Switzerland's Dalmau Institute for Artificial Intelligence, which does computer voice recognition for bank security, compared the voices on 15 undisputed recordings of Osama with the voices on 15 subsequent ones attributed to Osama, to which they added 2 by native Arab speakers who had trained to imitate him and were reading his writings. All of the purported Osama recordings differed clearly from one another, as well as from the genuine ones. By contrast, the CIA found all of the recordings to be authentic. All of this led former US Foreign Intelligence Officer and Professor of International Relations at Boston University, Angelo Codevilla, to state in a 2009 edition of the American Spectator that all the evidence suggests Elvis Presley is more alive today than Osama Bin Laden. So is there any chance we'll get to see a body, even out of curiosity? Sadly, no. Because in a shining example of good sportsmanship, the US government and military decided that their arch nemesis should be afforded the dignity of a quick 24-hour burial in accordance with Islamic tradition. So, they turfed him over the side of a boat at sea, allegedly. Again, very convenient. What I find strange, however, is that the same dignity was not afforded the sons of Saddam Hussein, who were held for 12 days after their murder by US forces in Iraq, with several photo ops before being released for burial. Then again, there's a fair chance that Saddam's sons were actually alive when they were killed, unlike Bin Laden. All I can say is that the CIA and the Obama government must really think that, in terms of the US and global population, they're dealing with a bunch of retards. Then again, these guys do tend to make the rest of us look bad. I suppose I should offer some ideas as to the why of all this. Even if Osama wasn't dead before 2 nights ago, even if he's still alive, almost 10 years have passed since 9/11, and he had more or less disappeared from the public radar. So why resurrect him and kill him now? Well, first off, we have that rabble in front of the White House chanting 4 more years, so another term for Obama is one possible benefit. If required, the death of Osama could be used to claim mission really accomplished and call an end to the Afghanistan and Iraq campaigns, but not the occupations, of course, and to move US military troops and other resources to the next theatre of war, wherever that might be. Could be Libya, could be Pakistan even. On a more abstract level, the selling of this massive lie to American and Western peoples is likely to have a decidedly negative psychological effect on them. The control and manipulation of mass public awareness has always been a top priority for the elite of this world. They know that the more lies a person swallows, the easier it is to have them swallow even bigger lies later. What bigger lies are planned for the near future? Stay tuned.
America.